There's somebody with a very loud car. Very loud. Nope. Very loud car outside. But I can't talk today. Hello, and welcome to the Once Upon a Corgi Podcast. This is a Crafty Puppy podcast coming to you from Southern Connecticut. I'm your host, Gabby, and we are joined today by Iron, and Audrey is underneath the bed. This is episode 80, and it is October 3rd. Trying to remember to tell you where we are in the podcast. And time. You know, wibbly wobbly stuff. You can find me everywhere online as Gabagales and all my hand-dyed yarn and fiber at Once Upon a Corgi and onceuponacorgi.com. Thank you so much to all new viewers for coming and checking us out, and hello and welcome back to all returning viewers. Thank you so much for coming back. We have a couple things to get into this week. We did not have an episode last week. I just didn't work on anything, so it would have been a small episode of me telling you I haven't worked on anything. We've been pretty monogamous with our projects because Rhinebeck is coming up. I thought a man was just walking around outside with a Swiffer, but nope, he's a server and he's holding his apron. Rhinebeck is coming up. It is October 20th and 21st. We are going and I'm so excited, and we will be at Indie Entangled with the Hue Loco booth. So my yarn won't be there, but I will be there in person with Nicole again this year. Such a good show, and Nicole is such a lovely person, so I'm more than happy to help her out for the show. Does that bore you, bud? I have some Read My Lips tea from David's Tea in my Halloween mug that I really want to drink, but it's really hot. But I want it. You know everyone loves when you do that. And before we get into the announcements and events situation section, I just want to say a giant thank you to everybody who gave suggestions for falling asleep and their nighttime routines and their planners. I have a very long list of things to check out, so thank you so much everybody who replied in the video, or a couple of you messaged me on Instagram, and a couple of you left messages in Ravelry, so thank you so much. Events that are coming up, we have Rhinebeck. So the weekend of the 19th through 21st, as I just said, Rhinebeck, New York, which is the New York Sheep and Wool Festival. I will be there all of the days. So if you are there, stop me and say hello. I usually have a She Blinded Me with Library Science tote as my come find me tote. So I will probably have that this year, and I was hoping I could have buttons made, but I don't think I'm going to have enough time to do those little, not enamel pins, but the little buttons. So, once again, I fell on that one. We will also be having a trunk show at Knit Locally in Gaithersburg, Maryland, the 19th through 21st. So if you are in the Maryland area of that section, this is coming out really well, please stop by and say hello to the yarn. I won't be there, but you can switch the yarn as much as you would like. Also, their shop is adorable from the internets that I've seen, so you should definitely go check them out anyway. The other thing we have going on is the Pumpkin Mail. Joanna and I are hosting our 3rd annual Pumpkin Make-Along this year, and we both have finished objects and chatter threads up in our Ravelry groups. We have prizes that have come in, so I will be showing those here. It is a sock pattern by Becky Sorensen, who so kindly gifted me a pattern because we're birthday twins and offered one for you guys, so I thought it was a perfect time to throw it into the Pumpkin Make-Along as a prize, because yes. So thank you so much, Becky, for that. I love them so much, and I hope your move is going really well and you are settling in nicely. And that is a make-along with making, stitching. Are we including stitching? I think Joanna's including stitching in a separate thread. Making things that are pumpkin themed, related, colored, that sort of thing. I'm gonna burn myself in my tea. Hold on. That will be going on until November 21st, which is the, nope. Oh my God, this just kidding. November 23rd, which is the day after Thanksgiving in the US. And with all of that said, let's get into the crafting bit. What? I just got you on the bed. Yeah. I am wearing my Bettine dress by Tilly and the Buttons out of some knit jersey. Did you just put my whole arm in your mouth? What are you doing? Do you want to come up? Do you want to come on? You can't come on this chair. You won't fit. I am wearing this out of a gray knit jersey with birds all over it. And it's super comfortable and I love it. And I want 100 more. Yeah. We have no finished objects. Do we? No, we don't have any finished objects for you this week that I know of. We almost had a sock, but I did not quite finish it in time. So, oops. Let's get into the whips with what we're closest to finishing. Our Aliska sweater, which is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter, and we are knitting it out of our own hand-dyed yarn, Once Upon a Corgis, in our Edgar Allan Poe Club colorways. Tomorrow I Shall Be Fetterless, Insufferably Damp, and Ghoul Haunted Woodlands of Wear, and the black is Nightmares plus 10. And I have finished my first sleeve, as you can see, and I am working on my second sleeve. So I'm hoping this will be done by next week, because at this part of the sleeve, it's the easiest color work bit, so we should not have too much trouble. Excuse me. I have been having trouble with this section. I hope you can see it. It is the cross section because my yarns are not that different. So I would say if you are going to knit this in colors such as this, I mean, the new Tomorrow I Shall Be Fetterless, the current one is much bluer and a lot brighter than this one is. This is just a very gray base. So if you did these colors now, you would not have this problem. But I did. And instead of changing it up, I decided to go with it because that's how I roll. So I'm so close to finishing this and I tried it on and it fits beautifully. I'm so excited. This will be my Saturday sweater. I am knitting it on US size 4 Knitter's Pride carbons. I'm doing a 9-inch or a 12-inch circular for the sleeves, and I have this little Katrinkles progress keeper my friend donated to the project while I knit it from Knit Group. And I love it. I love it so much. I am so excited for this sweater. I'm so excited for it to be done. I feel very accomplished looking at it. While I was knitting it, I didn't feel like I was doing anything crazy, but now that I'm sitting back and staring at what I've done, I'm impressed with myself. I'm very proud of myself for it. I think the colorwork sweater that I will steek in the future does not look as intimidating anymore. I will be working on this tonight, and it's basically been the only thing I've been working on pretty regularly because I want it done for Rhinebeck. Because Rhinebeck. It is my second or third Rhinebeck sweater, depending on the weather. If it's super hot out, I will be wearing the Mount Pleasant. And if it's not, I will be wearing that sweater and the Branches and Buds pullover. Did I knit something else? Oh, I knit that green one. I didn't start that this year though, did I? Did I? No. I don't remember. I'm probably not going to wear that one. I am considering ripping that one out and knitting something else with it because I just haven't worn it. And I don't have a lot of like camis or anything because I don't like wearing them. So I haven't found a good undershirt for it because it does fall deep enough that I probably shouldn't wear just a bra. I think I did one time, but I was also real mad that day because my muffler fell off my car. So I have an excuse. Let me get my other whips. The other thing I have been working on, which was mainly worked on during my trunk show at a Stitch in Time in Bethel, Connecticut over the weekend, is the Sea Glass tank top by Meg from Bad Wolf Girl Studios and Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits podcast. I'm knitting this out of my hand-dyed yarn once again in the Libraries colorway on my Isaac base, which is 100% superwash Polworth, and I am loving it. It was a very quick construction for the top. It's a top-down racerback tank top, and it's going to have an I-cord edging. I am doing the test knit for her, and I am in sort of the main chunk of the body. It's very hard to hold up. So there it is. I hope the colors are okay. And right now it's just a gigundo sock, a giant body sock, until I get to the edge lacing and then pick up for the I-cord edge. It's due at the end of October, but I don't think I'm going to have any trouble getting to that deadline. It is a longer tank top, so it'll probably be semi-cropped on me. I might just make it a cropped because that's sort of more of my style. But I am enjoying it. It's a very pleasant knit, and I am loving seeing the other testers and what colorways they are doing in it. I'm knitting on my US 5 Knitter's Pride Dreams wooden interchangeables, and I threw on one of my pumpkin stitch markers to make it a little bit more fall-y instead of knitting a tank top in October and feeling like maybe I should finish this so I can wear it. Because it's New England. It is still living in my Mrs. Brown's bag. I am using 2 skeins and I am alternating them because it is hand-dyed yarn. Nothing really started pooling anyway when I used just 1 skein for the straps, but I didn't want to risk it being super different if I needed to like add 3 inches to the bottom and then start the lace and just have like a line of different skeins. So we are alternating. We're being good knitters this one time. And that is that tank top. We have been working on it a little bit today. We are finishing up all the dyeing for the advent calendars today and starting the endless trek of winding, labeling, and packaging all of the mini skeins because there are a lot of them. The last thing I have been working on is my violet top. So this is our sewing whip section, and if you follow me on Instagram on the Gabigail's account, I have a highlight of sewing for the Instagram stories if you want to follow along. And I am making the violet top by Colette Patterns, and I am using this super cheeky pumpkin material. Look at this. Oh, I love it. It is a button down. I'm going to be repurposing buttons from one of Jake's old work shirts because they are just regular clear plastic buttons, and he can't wear those work shirts anymore, so he can't really do anything with them. And he wears his clothes until they die because it's a restaurant. So a lot of them we can't even Goodwill because they're just covered in oil, weird oil and cheese stains, and there's holes in weird places from when he like rolls up his sleeve and like cuts something playing with a new knife. I don't know what this kid's doing. So that is the plan, is to repurpose some buttons for this. It does have this beautiful gather detail in the back there, and I am finishing all the seams. So this seam I did a French seam, and the shoulders, because I was afraid it was going to be too bulky with the collar, I just pinked those. And I found that that works out perfectly fine. My plan is to, did I do French seams for the sides? I did. I French seamed the sides as well. So everything is encased, and I'm not totally sure how I'm going to finish the sleeves. I've never finished the sleeves before, so you'll see what happens. I don't think I can French seam them. I think that would just be way too bulky. I'll probably just pink them, or maybe put them through the serger and just have one shirt with all the finishing techniques. That'll be great. It does have this Peter Pan collar, which is slightly interfaced, and the next step is to gather the sleeves and attach them. So I would like to do that maybe Saturday night. I think that's my goal. Maybe Saturday afternoon after knit group. I'll sew for a little bit and then wind minis. We haven't done a lot of knitting, but we're a little bit all over the place in all of our crafts. So the other thing I have been working on, because I have restarted my old lady nights with Carrie and we are cross stitching / going to learn how to embroider, I have worked on my Cloud Factory cross stitch a lot. I am so excited. All I have to do left is the left side flowers. I am currently working on my little bloody axe. And then there's some more purple leaves and flowers to put on the sides. I love this so much. I'm 100% framing it and putting it over my office desk forever and ever. Ugh, it's great. It's so great. I love this. Although I am a little bit over cross stitch at this moment, I do want to try other sort of, like I want to try embroidery, like those super Pinteresty, like succulents and floral wreaths with the words like "ugh" in the center. I really want to do that. I was also watching The Office again today, and Michael's quote at Phyllis's wedding about wedding in the Webster Dictionary is the welding of two metals. So I like kind of want to like stitch that onto a pillow because that would be adorable. So I do want to do that. I am looking at embroidery kits on Etsy. So if you have a favorite one or would recommend learn how to kit, let me know. I tried to pick up one of the books from Joann's, but they did not have any in stock. So then I almost bought 2 other books, but I realized that they didn't really show me how to start the embroidery. They just showed me how to like add beads to it, so that was not helpful. Also tell you that I don't have enough hobbies, so I clearly need like 10 more. And that's it. I will be working on this again on this Thursday night as far as I know. And hopefully this will be soon. This will be soon. This will be done soon. I don't know how I'm going to finish it. The cross stitch I finished for Adrian, I put a tea towel over it and then I steamed it with the iron. So I think I'm going to try that again because it is quite wrinkly. I have been using the sewing method. So instead of having the hoop and stabbing through, I'm only using the needle from one side. I'm really bad at explaining this because I don't know what it is. I heard Joanna say it once, so I Googled it. Thanks, Joanna. It has been okay. I usually end up having to redo, and the back side's not that bad. I learned how to do the knotless start, but I don't know how to do the knotless end, which is fine. No one's going to be looking at this from this side anyway. Whatever. I will probably put it in a frame because I don't know what else you would do with a cross stitch. So maybe like a nice purple frame. I'll probably get an IKEA frame or wait for Michael's to have like a 75% off frame. And that has been my crafting. A little bit of knitting, a little bit of sewing, a little bit of cross stitch. Not a lot of one thing, but a lot of little stuff. I just don't want the cat to sit on that because it's got needles. And that is what we have been crafting. I'm glad these episodes are becoming a little bit more compact. That way, you know, if you've got a spare 20 minutes, you can come check in, say hi, and be on your merry way. I don't want to take up too much of your time. So the rest of this is shop update and beyond crafting. So if you were not here for either of those, thank you so much for watching. And if you are, let us continue. We will be having a shop update tomorrow, Thursday, October 4th at 3 p.m. It will be all of the yarn from a Stitch in Time trunk show and the rest of the yarn from the Die Hard Yarns trunk show. I kept aside one bin just in case, so I didn't have to count them, put them on the website, and then take them down again. So all of that will be going up, and we will be having more Audrey pins. We got some more for the trunk shows, and so I will be putting up, I believe we have 14 of those. Yes, so 14 will be going up. I do have some more held back just in case we don't get another shipment in before New England Fiber Festival, but if we do, I will put those up on the website and let you know. And you can find all of that at onceuponacorgi.com. Thank you so much for supporting the shop and checking it out, and thank you to everybody who has seen the poll already. I put a couple polls up on Instagram asking about shop update days, what kind of shop updates you want to see, and what you want to see in the shop in 2019. So we are thinking about changing the shop update day. As of right now, Sunday is beating out Friday by like 4 people. So I'm considering doing maybe a Sunday morning update. Although a lot of people have been saying that instead of doing a weekly shop update, just sort of updating the shop as I dye the yarn. So I might just split it up into 2 or 3 days. We're gonna try the new day for a month, and then we'll try the other way for a little bit and see which one kind of feels better. My goal is just to have as much of the yarn accessible to you as possible at all times. I don't have a lot of physical space to store a lot of the stock, so I am also trying to figure out a better way to make sure you have enough of what you want while also still letting us have at least half of a living room. Because right now we have a couch and the rest of it's just yarn. But that's just the advent calendars, so that is temporary. That will pass. And I believe that's it for shop update. After Rhinebeck, we will be at the New England Fiber Festival at the Biggie Fairgrounds the first weekend of November again. And December 1st, we will be at Nitty City for their holiday trunk show lineup like they did last year. So I'm very excited to go back to both of those. And I believe that is it for shop update stuff. The newsletter will be going out tonight in about an hour. So if I forgot anything here, it should be in there if it's super important. And you can sign up for that at Once Upon a Corgi if you just scroll all the way down to the bottom. All right, the rest of this is beyond crafting. So what I've been reading, watching, and generally doing. I've been reading a lot. Again. Last I checked with you guys, I finished Valor by Sever Brawny, and I am doing the Kindle Lending Library. So it's basically the Kindle library because I got rid of Kindle Unlimited because we're trying to get rid of a lot of our subscriptions that we're not really using / don't really need, like Audible, Kindle Unlimited, Hulu, that sort of thing. I need Hulu for like one show. I don't need it right now. I could not rent the 4th book in the series, which is Clash, I believe, until October 1st. So I am about to read that. I will start that tonight, and I'm very excited. It is another young teens learn that they have magic and have to save the world while trying to go to school, but the school is taken over by the evil people, so they're kind of like learning as they go through books and trial and error. It's very interesting. I read The Burden's Edge first, which is like the 8th book in the series. Don't recommend doing that. I feel like I've explained this book series so many times to you, but I just need to explain it to myself to remind myself, like, this is why it was so weird reading that book. I also read the 2nd book in A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, A Court of Mist and Fury. I finished that, and because my library did not have the 3rd book available to rent out, I went and found the audiobook on the internet and listened to that immediately afterwards. I don't have a problem, I swear. It was so good. It was so good. I think I liked it way better than A Court of Thorns and Roses. Like, the 2nd book was my Empire Strikes Back. And I haven't even seen their Return of the Jedi yet. It's now making any Vollenvine updates with any of her updates from what words? It's now making any Vollenvine updates with those colorways very dangerous. Oh, I have things to show. I totally forgot. Hold on. I totally forgot. I have some stash building things that sort of hopped into my cart there. These are the Henry VIII's Queens and Consorts sock kit by Junk Yarn. Here it is, in order from Catherine of Aragon all the way down to Catherine Parr. Yeah, she was the last one. So it's 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's only 6. Catherine, Boleyn, Jane Seymour, the German one, other Catherine, Catherine with a K, Howard. I think it's 7. Whatever. It's her paid set, and it does come with a adorable wax seal and box with a progress keeper in the middle. And I love this because I used to only use wax seals in high school when writing letters because my friends and I were on that weird cusp of the internet where we had it, but we were also still like, we're gonna hold on to letters. So I would always seal all my letters with a wax seal that I got at the Renaissance Fair. It's somewhere in this house. Somewhere. She is coming out with a sock pattern for it, and I plan on using that to knit these, and I'm very excited. As I was saying, back to life things. Beyond crafting. I don't know what's happening. What was I talking about? Oh, I read those. So that book was amazing. That book was amazing. And I'm very excited to try the third one. I have been told the third is not as good as the second, but that's okay. All the books cannot be that good. Otherwise, I'd be really concerned about the rest of my life and how I would not do anything except read those books all the time. The other life thing that we have done in the past 2 weeks is we went and bought a car. So we finally bought me an adult car after a couple months of me hemming and hawing and panicking about it. The Saturday after I podcasted last, oh my god, was it really that quick? It was. So I podcasted last, and then that Saturday on my way to knit group, my muffler, which was a 2005 original and has been through many Connecticut winters, which are not kind. Our roads are not kind to your cars at all. They're gross. Finally decided to rust itself and twist the pipe and break the pipe. So my muffler fell off, and then we found out that the rest of the exhaust system, the brackets also fell off when the muffler twisted itself apart. So that was a fun discovery at knit group. Luckily my dad came and saved me, because that's what dads do. And we used some Air Force steel wire. He used wire he used to use in the Air Force to like make sure fuses stayed attached on airplanes. He just happened to have it in his car, so we used that to attach it. And then that Monday we went over to a friend of Jake's who also manages a dealership, and he helped us get a really good deal on our Honda CR-V. Her name is Luna, and she's been very kind to me, and she's lovely. She fits so much yarn in her. I packed up all the trunk show yarn and our setup, not the grid walls, but the rest of the trunk show setup in her, just in the back. I didn't even need to use the back seat. It was great. It was amazing. It's a wonder. I don't know how I did it. So I'm very excited for New England Fiber Festival to now pack everything in my car and be able to drive from my home to the venue instead of driving from my home to my parents' home, to taking everything out of the car and putting it in my mom's car, and then realizing I don't have enough room for anybody else in the car, and then figuring out that like I packed it wrong, and it was just a disaster. It was so bad. I ended up leaving my grid wall hooks in my car the night of setup. So we got there and we couldn't even set up because I had no grid wall hooks. It was crazy. So now we have a very large, spacious vehicle to get everything for Hugh Loco from here to India Untangled for her. So I'm very happy about that. I just feel like so many weights have been lifted off of my shoulders. It's also my first adult car. After college, after I graduated, I got myself like not a junker, she was beautiful. Just like a right out of college, like cheapo car. And then Bruce was also a right out of college cheapo car, and I just ran him into the ground. He just died. He died a noble death, but he died. So that has been mostly what we were doing. Also that week was just very stressful about buying a car. I think it was very intense. Very intense. Jake also got himself a new car. He traded in we bought him a new car 4 years ago, and he was almost done paying it off, so we decided, sort of on a whim, to trade it in for a newer model instead of going through all the extra maintenance stuff at like whatever mileage he was at. So it's just been a lot of adulting. We also put down, oh god, there's been so much adulting this past week. Maybe this explains it. This is turning into a little bit of like Gabby's therapy corner, but I figured out why I've been reading so quickly and powerhouse through a 24-hour audiobook in less than 2 days. Not at at normal speed. And I have watched The Office now twice since September. Well, I'm halfway through The Office as of right now because we bought cars. We put down the first 30% of the wedding venue. It's been a lot. Oh, I'm nervous, sweaty. And we are doing, I'm very excited for this, The Office trivia on not this Monday. No. Is it this? No. It is this Monday. This upcoming Monday, Jake and I are going to The Office trivia, and I'm so excited. So I'm rewatching the whole series before then, and we have spent 2 very romantic nights quizzing each other on office trivia. It's great. We don't have a problem. You have a problem. I have a problem. And I'm so okay with it. So that is what I've been up to. It's just way too much adulting for me to handle. So I've been doing a lot of escapism through my books and the office and laying in bed and staring at my pumpkin shirt, but not sewing it, but just trying to will it into finishment hasn't worked. But I've been trying. Yeah, it's time. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go wind some mini skeins and cook some dinner, and I will see everybody next week. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good week. Bye.